My friends, I must issue a trigger warning. I know I don't often do. Sometimes I do, seriously, if it's like a graphic or gross kind of thing I need to talk about for some reason. But typically, no trigger warnings. But this time, you all may be triggered by what you're about to hear. Now, who am I kidding? Y'all are going to laugh when you hear this, but it's not going to be pleasant to hear. It's just funny. I am now going to play for you the noise that the media made when VP Pence walked away from the podium. I believe this was just the other day, but I hope you are prepared to hear this. So let me make sure I turn the volume down a little bit. Here we go.
Thank you.
All of you need to answer this.
Why is the federal
What is going on? And you're not working with the transition. You're all part of not recognizing democracy. You're all undermining the democratic election. Every one of you.
Why is the federal
And you won't work with the transition.
Why were they yelling? Why? You may be asking yourself, Tim, why? Why were they yelling? What is this? What's happening? Why did a man yell, you're all undermining democracy, you're undermining our elections? My friends, here's what I said. As Trump nears his presidential exit, the media is in full panic because the golden goose is going away. This noise you hear is their death rattle. The sounds made when the media beast realizes it's about to die. They were yelling at no one. No one was there. They were just randomly yelling things. You're undermining democracy. Why won't you answer questions? They weren't asking anybody a question. Nobody was in the room but them. It was actually just a distressed wail from like a dying creature laying on its side going, oh, I know it's sad. It's sad to watch. Now, I don't know if Trump is going to truly be out, but it's looking that way. I went on to say they aren't asking anyone questions. Pence already left. They are yelling out at no one for no reason. It is the sound of a dying animal scared and alone. The TDS-addled media will begin to hunger, and they will turn to anything that allows them to feed. Perhaps it will be Biden. Perhaps it will be Trumpism. But the writing is on the wall for all of these people. They spent the last almost more than that, because there was the campaign. They spent these past several years screaming at Donald Trump that he was the evil orange man, but now he's gone. Mike Pence walked away. It reminds me of that saying, they say, how does it go? It's like one day you picked up your child for the last time and didn't realize it. It's sad, isn't it? You've got your little kid and you're carrying him, and then one day you don't, and then you never pick him up again. And I heard that story once, and someone posted on Reddit when his dad read it on his computer. He walked over and grabbed his 25-year-old son, who was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Here." He showed him, like, "There you go. I picked you up." It's funny, but it's basically them saying this could be the last time you spout your garbage nonsense to the Trump administration, and they know it. Ladies and gentlemen, I now give you the glorious collapse of media. You see, in fear that the Trump bump will be gone and they will revert back to the way things used to be when their ratings were in the gutter. Shane Smith, the former CEO of Vice Media, said several years ago there was going to be a bloodbath in digital media. But then something happened to stave off the end. The Orange Man showed up and they couldn't stop talking about him. But as many of these people now believe, Donald Trump on the way out means no more money. None. Here it is. AT&T reportedly looking to sell CNN after hit from halting Trump. AT&T is reportedly $150 billion in debt. Now, yeah, you're probably saying, I heard this. You did, but I got to bring it up. Why wouldn't AT&T sell CNN before? Their debt didn't just appear one day. It's because they know CNN is worthless without Trump. If there's no Orange Man, how is the Orange Man bad network going to survive? In fact, their best bet would be to hire Trump and have him say random things, and then it would be 24 hours, all Apprentice, all the time. I mean, it almost basically is. My friends, there's more. I hope you're ready for this. Ezra Klein and Lauren Williams are leaving Vox. Ezra Klein founded Vox. He's leaving? Why? Because they see the writing on the wall. Now that the election is winding down and they've milked Trump for all that they can get, they're jumping ship. Over at Vox, guess what? It's not just Ezra Klein. Why Matthew Iglesias left Vox. He is the latest high-profile writer to abandon traditional media. Matthew Iglesias, also a founder of Vox, has jumped ship. Why is the leadership of a progressive news outlet abandoning their very successful platform? Could it be that they know the ship is going to sink? You see, here's what happened. The ship was sinking the whole time. Like I mentioned with Shane Smith saying a bloodbath. As all of these boats erupted with massive leaks, they ran down and they grabbed a giant Donald Trump and shoved him in the hole to stop the sinking. And the boat stayed afloat as an angry Donald Trump wiggled and writhed, saying, "Let me out of here." I know it's a funny analogy, right? Well, now Trump has finally wiggled his way out of the ship and the water is coming on board again and their boat is sinking. Before the boat completely sinks, they're getting off. Because look, nobody, if you want to get a job, if you want to launch a career, so Matthew Iglesias is going to do a private Substack thing where he can write whatever he wants. Ezra Klein is going to the New York Times. Well, you want to be a hot commodity. Just before the end hits and you still have some personal brand equity, you go to the New York Times and say, "Don't you know who I am?" And they say, "Okay, we'll offer you X amount of dollars." And you say, "Awesome." And then you're actually sweating bullets because you're like, if I waited one more month, I'd be worth nothing. If they wait 2 more months and Trump ends up out of the White House, they're worthless. Like their salaries are worth nothing. New York Times is going to be like, like you guys, nobody reads your stuff. Why should we hire you? Right now, hey, hot commodity, orange man bad. But wait, did I say I was done? BuzzFeed to acquire Huffington Post in stock deal with Verizon Media. New media companies have been exploring mergers as they try to jumpstart growth. Why do they need to jumpstart growth? Is there something coming that they're worried about? Maybe Trump won't be president anymore and they'll have nothing to write about. And then what are they going to do? Here's my favorite example of like the worst being yet to come. Ivanka Trump farted. You see this story? It's from a couple days ago, but it's a whole bunch of different outlets. Metro, Daily News, Daily Mail, Mary Sue. Ivanka Trump farts and blames someone else. Breaking news. That's the death rattle. You know what death rattle is? It's like when someone or something is dying and then like their muscles give out and so they just gargle because like the gases are escaping and it's bubbling all the water or whatever. That's what we're hearing. It's the end. The end is nigh. This was all, well, I don't want to say it was predicted. They tried, okay, to defend that they would survive without Trump. Pointer wrote, when did they write this? August 11th. Would a Trump loss in November be bad for the media business? The New York Times is not going anywhere. Fox News will motor along. The news will carry on regardless of who lives in the White House. Not true. My favorite part is that they mention that like Fox News is fine. But what if some of the national political outlets? What about CNN and MSNBC and Fox News? Would a Joe Biden victory be bad for business? They say. In a story by Digiday's Stephen Perlberg, former CNN President Jonathan Klein said, "What would go away is the bad guy in the story. There's no antagonist. So what are we tuning in for? Grandpa's a nice guy. Everybody might be relieved to not watch as much cable news anymore and go find a book to read, a garden to plant, or a socially distanced walk to take." I'm not sure that is true. For starters, Fox News will continue to motor along. Back in August, if only they had known that Fox News viewers are abandoning them in droves for Newsmax. It's already the most watched cable station with Trump in the White House. Without Trump, you'll have a target to criticize nightly in Biden. Meantime, the other networks won't be obsessing over Trump, but there will still be news. That's not an answer to the problem. They were suffering before Trump. What replaces him? They say, plus, there's a chance that viewers currently suffering Trump fatigue might be more engaged in the news again. There's also a good possibility that if Biden does become president, there won't be nightly conversations about the president's last tweet. There might not be a daily question of, did you see what the president did today? One reporter who currently has a TV deal with one of the networks told Perlberg there isn't going to be an arms race for Joe Biden TV analysts. A senior producer told Barr, "I don't know anybody who wants to do another 4 years of this news cycle. That doesn't necessarily mean the media is rooting against Trump because of politics." Quote, "As journalists, I don't think anybody cares about what party the president of the United States is. What they care about is being able to live their lives normally again. I think there's mental exhaustion around the presidency, and I don't know anybody who is enjoying it." Could the same be said of his audience? Of the audience? Either way, the news will carry on regardless of who lives in the White House. Ha 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 ha. Wrong. Look, I run a business. Okay, I got employees. I know what it means to be coming off of an election. When you have a salaried job, and you have a contract, you're like, I get paid X dollars per year. No matter what happens, you're getting X dollars per year. if you have a contract. Now, maybe you're a salaried employee, you make 50 to 70K. You're going to get that no matter what happens. Whether you make money or not, the name of the game for most media businesses is if you produce slightly more than you cost, then you stay, period, because we can sustain this. But here's what's going to happen. A bunch of these outlets, Vox, for instance, CNN, they increased their staff as their ratings grew around the Trump bump. Now that the election is over, everybody knows ad revenue is getting cut in half and ratings are going to drop dramatically. The month before the election was glorious because every political campaign and super PAC were dumping money like crazy into the race. And you had an attentive audience desperately trying to watch what's happening to know what's going to go on, know what may occur. But then the election ends and we're still in a period where people kind of want to know, but it's sort of fading. Viewership is going down across the board. It always does after elections. This is a fact. And there's no more political campaigns spending money. It's going to be another year and a half or so before we get into a full swing election cycle. So we'll see how 2022 plays out. And that means these companies have to shave costs because they're artificially enlarged by an election. So you know what's going to happen? They's going to fire a ton of people. They are going to purge these outlets. Bye-bye. And that noise you heard in the very, very beginning was them knowing what was going to come. How insane was that video? Like I think it's Caitlin Collins. I don't know who's the last person yelling. Just no one's in the room anymore. They're gone. And you're going, wait, where are you going? Why you're not answering questions? Don't leave me. Yeah, that's it. They're gone. It's over. The dream has come to an end. Your clout on social media will become meaningless. Nobody wants to follow Jim Acosta. Come on. They follow him because he yells at Trump. What's he going to do after Trump? Nothing. Me, on the other hand, I make stupid jokes all the time, and I sometimes talk about Sonic the Hedgehog like I did earlier this year. And ultimately, I just don't care. I'm one person. If all of this goes belly up or whatever, I'm a dude sitting in his room complaining on the internet. I'll have at it. The rest of these companies, though, not so much. But I do have some I do want to talk about a specific incident with Kayleigh McEnany, so stick around. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.